I never could follow the path laid out in front of me. I did things my own way. I was the man I wanted to be. Never cared what people thought or muttered under their breath. I had my pistol by my side, and I was riding with death. I walked this road alone, on the run from all I've known, running free under the gun. Life ain't easy, living on the run. Come on. I thought I had it all till I run right into you. I give up the selfish ways, that's what a man would do. Never knew that my past was right on my trail. With a flash of 6-gun fury, I'd land myself in jail. I walked this road alone, on the run from all I've known, running free under the gun. Life ain't easy, living on the run. Come on. Living free under the gun. Life ain't easy when you're on the run. Come on.
Hey, everybody. It's me, Doug. Or it's me, your boy, Doug. I don't know if y'all been keeping up with what's going on, but apparently Diversity in Comics is back. And it's not your boy, it's not your boy Zach. It's your boy John. I've been getting a kick out of those videos. It cracks me up. His troll level is like way over. It's over 9,000. So, go check that out if you want to get a laugh. It's pretty funny. I hope y'all's doing good. I'm doing pretty good today. Today is the last day for Legends of the Lone Wolf on Kickstarter. So if you haven't picked that up and you want it, you've got probably about an hour or so. I'm not sure. Let's pull up the screen there and take a look. Yeah, you've got 79 minutes. We're at $558. We got 16 backers. So that means there's going to be 16 people, only 16 people that have the copy with Brad Ashworth's art on it. I might print a few extras to keep. I know I'm going to print one to send to Brad because he was awesome enough to do this for us. So if you want to get this, you better get it now because it's not going to be around. and it's really cool that we have it and that he done it. So go grab that if you haven't. The Indiegogo store is going to stay open, so if you'd rather have the Indiegogo book, it's going to be there. It's going to be there until we print, which was I'm shooting for the middle of this month, but you never know. I'm working with tons and tons of people. Instead of just me and an artist, it's me and like a billion people. So we're hoping, we're hoping to get that done. I'm not really going over any news today because there's not really a whole lot out there I really care about. I did see this article here. I'll read over it. This is the only one I've seen shared, but apparently there's a review for Cyberfrog, and so we'll check that out. If you don't know what Cyberfrog is, it's by Ethan Van Sciver. We talked about Ethan yesterday. This has been like one of the most talked about crowdfunded comics in a long time. It took it a year to get made and all this stuff, and there's been lots of drama and lots of bullcrap around it. But apparently, here's one of the first reviews I've seen printed. There's some YouTube guys doing reviews and stuff. This is the first one I've seen. So we'll just read over it real quick. And this is on Cosmic Book News. If you go to the website, it's cosmicbook.news. So go check them out. They do have some ads, as you can see down here in the corner. But we'll start. We'll read their little review here. Former DC Comics artist Ethan Van Sciver crowdfunded his Cyberfrog Blood Honey comic book to the tune of millions of dollars. Now, this right here, there was no millions of dollars. He didn't hit $1 million. Doug Knaples at 800,000, and he's made more than Ethan has. So already here, maybe they're exaggerating. I don't know. And while fans paid a hefty price tag for the comic, unfortunately, it fails to deliver. Perhaps not surprisingly, Cyberfrog Blood Honey comes up short in terms of story, as it comes across as pretty boring, dull, and confusing. And just when it starts to get good, it ends. I say not surprisingly because this comic book reminds me of something put out in the early days of Image Comics, when the Marvel Comics artists left and formed their own company in the 90s. While all the Image founders were stellar artists, they weren't exactly the best writers. I think the same thing applies here to Ethan Van Sciver. Cyberfrog Blood Honey read is more of an extended prelude with Bendis-style exposition and little action. There is no conflict for the first 16 pages, which is basically an entire comic book these days. The comic read to me as if it was a cliff-noted version of an extended story that we're already supposed to know about. So if you don't know, Ethan actually did Cyberfrog in the 90s as his own comic. He created it, and that was like one of the first things he ever got printed. And I think the first part of the book is just him like kind of touching on the origin of Cyberfrog. So maybe you don't have to read the original issues, but maybe it helps. My warning bell started to go off when the issue kicked off things in 1996. I know Ethan published a Cyberfrog book years ago, so I left wondering if this was just a rehash of the old stuff, which isn't necessarily a problem, but the problem is the entire story read like a recap of previous events, and again, when it gets to the here and now, the book is over. The story also wasn't as organic as it needed to be. It needed to be better fleshed out, as it seemed to be all show and no tell. It was like here, 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 and here. For instance, Cyberfrog saves Heather from some goon. Why does he have bug wings? They become bestie, and she gets a tattoo. I found that to be really odd. What was also odd was the inclusion of Bill Clinton's speech about Monica Lewinsky, which felt completely out of place. I do get where Ethan is coming from, but the inclusion of Clinton felt really, really forced. And I find that kind of odd because he was talking about how people shouldn't be including politics into their comics, and kind of ran Tim Lim around because he did Trump comics. So that seems kind of weird. The end was rather confusing too. Now, I don't know if I don't want to give any spoilers, but from what I understand, there's not a whole lot going on in the book. You've seen almost every page if you follow him on Twitter. He's posted page after page after page. So if you don't want to hear this, plug your ears, go away, do something. But the end was rather confusing too, as Cyberfrog and Sal, which is Salamandroid, are fighting the Wasps, and then something else attacks who aren't the Wasps. Is that right? We don't have any answer as the story ends, and we're left with a huge cliffhanger. I think I would have enjoyed the book a lot better if it skipped most of the recap and went right into the war, which I'm guessing there is a second book where things will be headed. The story definitely needs a bit more meat and less dressing. Regarding the art, of course, it's top notch, so no complaints there. I've seen a few pictures from the book. There's one, I guess it's Cyberfrog's creation. You see the frog at the bottom, and you see all this stuff, and it is absolutely mind blowing. It's like one of the coolest pieces I've ever seen. The colors are great, and all that is great. It says, of course, the question of paying basically 10 times the price for a comic book will come up, but that is something I really don't mind. I did get a super cool variant cover, which also includes a blank variant on the inside with an autograph by Ethan. The back of the book also features a bunch of pinups, which honestly I'd rather would have replaced by more story pages, but the art is at least really cool. I'll add paying this much for a comic book means I'm going to hold these crowdfunders to a higher standard than if I paid $3 or $4. So he gives it 2.5 out of 5 stars. Which, I mean, a lot of people have offered excuses. Well, Ethan's not a writer. Ethan's not a writer. We knew that. This art is really cool. I mean, you can't deny that Ethan is a cool artist. That's really awesome looking. The colors are really good. But he's not a writer. Maybe he should have got a writer. You think, just me personally, waiting 10 months, waiting a year for something like that, I would have expected it to be a little bit better. So we've got some people. Let's see what people saying here in the chat. Because we got quite a few people in here today. We got Sam, we got Ashton Jackal, we got Matthew Reese. Sam says this could have been something special if it had come out anywhere near the promised date, and we already have issue 2 and maybe even the third one. I really agree. I think if he would have just put the comic out, it wouldn't have had to been a billion pages. People were paying the $25 for the 48 pages. I backed it originally. I got a refund later. Me personally, I just didn't. It wasn't about the book because I knew the book was going to look awesome. It was more about other things that bother me personally. You can decide on your own. I'm not telling you what to buy. I'm just saying that's my own thing. But yeah, if the dude would have put that book out and had another book ready to go and another book, he'd have been making money hand over the fist because his artwork is fantastic. I haven't read the book. I don't know if it's a 2.5 out of 5. That's for you to judge. The artwork's going to be cool. And if you just bought it for cool artwork, then you'll probably be happy with it. There's some talk about it being printed poorly. I don't know if that's across the board or if there was just a bad batch. When you're printing that many books, you never know. There could just be a bad batch. I will give the dude the benefit of the doubt on that one. You never know. But saying that there's no bad books is kind of crazy because obviously there is. But let's move on to something else. Let's get out of indie comics for a second. I went to the town over from here. It's like an hour away. And it was a video game store. And I went in to actually see my brother who works there. And when I went in to talk to him, he's down behind the counter. And I look and there's long boxes everywhere. And I'm like, are you guys selling comic books now? And he's like, yeah. And they pull up the long boxes and they have like 99 cents on the front and all this stuff. And I'm like, what? So I start digging through the comics. I only dug through a few boxes. I was there I rode over with my parents. We went over to see him and get some other stuff. And so I didn't want to keep them there the whole time. So I wanted to show you guys what all I picked up. Because I got these really cheap and I got some really cool stuff. I got stuff that I didn't read as a kid. It was $1 and I was like, I'm going to get this. But I'm probably going to go back and look some more. being able to get these books for like $1 a piece or less is thrilling to me. This is stuff I missed out on as a kid, and being able to read it now is great. I got Iron Man 287, and that's it's War Machine on front. It looks like got the light reflecting on there. I got Iron Man 265. And see, these are like, what is this, 1990 or 91, something like that? I think this is 1990. And that's, to me, that's the best. That's my favorite era. We got Cap 405, Cap Wolf, or he's Werewolf by Night or whatever. See, that's cool. Captain America 385. Trying to hold these where the light reflecting off of them real bad. And this one right here, Venom Funeral Pyre, which I have several. I think it's like a mini series. Yeah, part 2 or 3. I think I have 1 and 4. So it was cool to find this. And then here, this is later 90s, and I just got this because I love Ghost Rider, and I'm trying to like get all my Ghost Rider books. Ghost Rider, what is this? 85. Come out in 97. This is not my favorite era of Marvel. This right here is when they were really going downhill. I don't like the art. I don't like the colors. But like I said, I wanted to finish it. This one right here is the oldest one I got, I believe. Web of Spider-Man, number 60. And I love these old Spider-Man comics. When I was a kid, I just saw the chat down here. You guys are cracking me up. Well, I was talking on Twitter the other day about being terrible at art, and I had got this comment that made me laugh. I'm just gonna pop it up. I'm gonna pop it up here. Oh, and I love Father Ted. That's like my favorite show. And for some reason, because I worked all night and I'm up now, I can't remember this character's name. But he sits in the corner and goes, "Drink!" But it says, hey, mate, looking a bit more cheerful today. Did you get yourself a wig and some lippy and change your name to Susan? That just your comment there totally makes my day. And we got Sam here in the chat saying, that Cat Wolf art was great fun. I picked up the trade this summer to use bookstore. That's awesome. Yeah, but this Spider-Man, Web Spider-Man 60, when I was a kid, my grandma, they had a bunch of, I can't remember where she bought it, but they had where you could buy these bundles of comics, and it was all old stuff, like early 80s, and she bought me like a buttload. So I've got a bunch of the 80s Spider-Man comics, and I absolutely love those. There's a lot of Black Cat in them, and I think I have like Silver Sable's first appearance and all that stuff. And I got this one because I love RoboCop. So we got RoboCop number 12. And this actually makes me want to search out more of these. And I had to get this one because I love Wolverine and Ghost Rider. And this cover here is sick. Marvel Comics presents Wolverine and Ghost Rider. If you can see that cover. That is awesome. And these aren't like, you can look at the books. You can tell through the bag that they're not like collectors. I'm not collecting books. I mean, I'll probably keep a bunch of these regardless just to have, and maybe, give them to my nephews someday and be like, hey, read these. These are really cool. Or, I might just give them to them now. And I got this right here, Captain America Annual, Citizen Kane. I had to pick that up, 64 pages. Really cool. This one costs a little bit more. It cost me $2 instead of $1. And I had to pick this up. X-Force number 7 with a Liefeld cover. Look at that Cable. As soon as I saw Cable there, I knew that was Liefeld. I was like, oh, getting it. And here, this one's one of Dave's favorites, and Dave's not in here with us today. he's probably in the bathroom. He always pops up later and says, I was in the bathroom. But we've got the Punisher number 49. And this right here is awesome. So cool. I love that cover. He's running. He's been shot. There's actual blood on the cover. You can see he's holding his side and there's blood there. Let's see. I got Iron Man 267. Sam says the Punisher, Wolverine, Ghost Rider team up was good fun. I have that too. Hearts of Darkness, I believe it is. That was John Romita Jr. Did the artwork on that, and I love John Romita Jr. And here's another one. This was part of the Capwolf thing. Captain America 404, and it's got Wolverine on it. There's no way I was passing up a Captain America comic, much less one that had Wolverine on the front. And then this here is one of my favorite characters. I think I stuck one of these. Oh, well, I didn't pick them all up. This is one of my favorite characters. And I remember getting these. I used to buy the packs of comics. I'd go to Walmart. In my town, there wasn't a comic book store. So the only way I got comics, we'd go to Walmart, and they actually had a rack in the toys section. And then later on, they had a big section by the magazines where you could pick up the packs, where like, $5 and you get like 4 or 5 comics in it. And I always remember when I got the Darkhawk comics. Darkhawk became one of my favorites. I love that he was here with Spider-Man. And I have one where the Punisher crosses over with him, and that's pretty cool. But I got this one. Then you flip it around on the back. There's more Darkhawk. And then I picked up this one. Darkhawk Savage Steel. The one after this is the one where the Punisher's in it. That's actually probably... Yeah, 5 has got the Punisher in it, which is really cool. I really loved all these old comics. That was the kind of stuff I wanted as a kid but couldn't get my hands on. But I picked this up. This right here is more modern. It's not really my thing. But it had some great artists on it, and it was hardcover. So I got this X-Men Schism. It's got Wolverine on the front and Cyclops. It's got a nice dust cover on it, but it's hardback. I paid $2 for this. So, I'm going to read it anyways. Really, really happy about that $2 purchase. So, yeah, that's a bunch of comic books I got the other day. I'm going to be going back. I'm going to start searching through dollar bins and stuff like that. And Ashton Jackal says I had to get a mail order subscription to get comics when I was growing up. When I was older and I had a job and I was a nerd in high school and actually after high school, I had a subscription to every Batman title, and it came straight to the house. And I had them for several years, and I finally quit when the New 52 started because I did not like the New 52 at all. So I quit and kind of stopped reading comics for a few years. Well, stopped reading DC for a few years. Hadn't read Marvel in years before that. I'd just pick up old comics here and there, stop them. The dollar bin's my favorite thing ever. Picking up all these old comics that I missed when I was a kid. And the art in them's good, the story's good, and they smell good. I love to open up one of those new print books, and you get that smell. If you read too many of them, it kind of makes you sick. Yeah, that's my kind of stuff. I'm going to start doing that from now on. I've seen it online where you can actually subscribe to maybe a box or just order random boxes off Etsy. I see where people's putting together grab bags like Marvel and old DC and stuff. Like I said, I'm not looking to collect things. I'm looking for stories, and I do want to share a lot of these with my nephews. Because comic books are cool, especially those. And those, I don't have to worry about there being a lot of like questionable material in them. They might get a little adult, but it's not going to be like anything in modern comics. Any modern comic, I want to look through it definitely before I let my nephews read it. One of my nephews, I've got two nephews, and the older one, a couple years ago, he loved the Flash, and so I bought him a collection of all the Golden Age, well, no, Silver Age Flash, and he absolutely loved it. He read it back and forth, back and forth. So I kind of want to get him into some of these comics and share some of that with him because it's cool to have people to share stuff like that with and get them in the old comics. Well, that's about all I got for today. I appreciate everybody stopping by. One day this week, I'll try to get somebody on as a guest, and we'll talk. And I'm gonna get Jameson on one day. He's been penciling Lone Wolf pages, so you guys could watch him do that. But I appreciate y'all stopping by. Oh yeah, we'll bring this up right here. Ray says if you read too many, it makes you sick, dude. Don't tell me you've not opened up those old newsprint books and that smell and sat for like hours reading through these books and not got a headache from that smell. I love it, but maybe it's just me. I don't know. But we got Sam says, anybody seen Joker this weekend? Originally, I wasn't too keen on wanting to see it, but I might go check it out. I still haven't got to watch Rambo: Last Blood, so that's my priority. I might go watch Rambo tomorrow by myself. Have any of you in the chat ever gone to the movies by yourself? It's weird. I like to go with my friends sometimes. I don't like to go on a date to the movies. I don't like going. The last time I went on a date to the movies, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't like that. I can't enjoy the movie. But yeah, anybody in the chat ever went to the movies by yourself? It's kind of weird. I've got the last few years I've got to doing it because I enjoy it. I enjoy it more when I go out of my town. If I go in town here, I always see people I know, and then they act like they feel sorry for me because I'm alone, and they keep coming over to talk, and it's just like, I came by myself, so you would leave me alone. Here's Reese. He says, my grandma was a librarian, and it was constantly around old paper smells. That stuff's like nectar to me. Well, I love the smell of it too, but there's just something about it. It'll give me a headache. I think I have like a lot of allergies and stuff. I don't take any meds. I'm like, I don't need meds, and that's why I have migraines and headaches and stuff all the time. But yeah, I love going to the movies. Like if I go here in town, everybody wants to come talk to me. They're like, "Oh, Doug, what, are you here by yourself?" And you kind of see this look like, "Oh, Doug's by himself," or they'll come in and sit down and they'll see me go, "Doug's by himself. I better go talk to him for a few minutes before the movie starts." And if I go out of town, which is almost as far for me to drive, I don't know anybody there, so I just go in and I sit down. Yeah, you're right. They don't understand introverts. They don't understand. I like to do a lot of stuff by myself. I like to have. What really frustrates me is if I don't have time to myself. I like to have, like, if I have days off where I have to go, I have things I have to do, like I have to run errands or I have to help somebody do something. It kills me. I feel like I haven't had time. I need time to just be alone. Even if it's if it's just cleaning my house or if I'm mowing the yard or anything, as long as I can be alone, I have to have that alone time. And a lot of things I enjoy, I'd rather just enjoy alone. I like to do a lot of stuff with my family, and if they go to the movies, I like to go with them. But I just rather go by myself. I saw, let's see, the first movie I ever saw by myself was Captain America, and I enjoyed it. And what was cool was it was just me and one other guy in the theater. So it was like, I walked in and he's sitting down, and we both, here in the South, you see somebody, you do the head nod. I saw him, like, yeah. And we both watched the movie. We both enjoyed it. And we just kind of grinned at each other as we walked out. We were the only people in there, and it was cool. The last movie I saw by myself, I think, might have been Deadpool 2. And I got to go see that by myself. And the theater was mildly full because I go early in the day, too. I also go to, like, the first showing. So there's not a bunch of kids there running around acting a fool. I become an old man, and I'm like, do something with your kids. And, it's just weird. So, Sam says he's going to be seeing the Joker with his dad, one of the few characters he's really properly aware of, aside from Batman, Supes, and Spider-Man. My dad is quite old and never got into comics. Well, see, nobody in my family is really into comics. I am, and we'll go watch the movies, and so everybody's going to ask me about the character and the villains, and I'll give them some backstory and some stuff like that. So, that's kind of cool. Sam says he went to see Alita by himself on a whim. They didn't have Alita. It didn't play anywhere close to here. Like, I would have had to drive like an hour or farther to see that. So I didn't get to see it. And just all honesty, I streamed it off some website. And I loved it. I was like, man, I'd love to see this in theaters. So hopefully if they make some more, I can see those in theaters because I really, really like that. And I like animes, like not all of them, but I like some anime. And to me, it was a live action anime. They did a really good job on it. I haven't read any of the stuff. I need to. It's on Comixology right now, so I need to read it. But it totally interested me in the character. I thought that was really, really cool. And I've ranted for 31 minutes today. We're getting longer and longer. And I appreciate y'all dropping in and talking because, we got plenty to talk about. A couple of you guys need to come on here in a few days. We can talk. We can communicate verbally. And I like doing hand gestures. So if you're watching this and I'm doing hand gestures, that's just what I do. And I know I'm not Italian or anything like that. And I know that's probably stereotypical, but that's just the way it is. He says Cameron says, oh, clicked the wrong one. Sorry. Cameron says he's committed to making a sequel with or without Disney. So that's good to hear because I would love to see a sequel to that because I thought it was great. Oh, another thing. I sat down and watched Hellboy Sunday. It wasn't as awful, I didn't think, as everybody made it out to be. Everybody talked about it was terrible and he was terrible. And I liked it. It wasn't fantastic. There was a lot of things they could change. It was like parts of it were rushed, and I think they didn't want to touch on some parts because they didn't want it to be too much like the previous ones. But, it was kind of weird. They kind of touched on his origin, but they kind of acted like you should know what's going on, and like it felt like it could have been a sequel, but it wasn't a sequel, and I don't know. Abe Sapien wasn't in it. It was okay. I thought that dude was really good as Hellboy, and the scenes where things are going on and there's like what I guess it's classic rock now playing like that. There was an Alice Cooper song in there. There was they played "Kickstart My Heart" by Motley Crue. I thought that was cool. Had those action scenes and all that stuff, and I liked it. Special effects were okay. So, yeah. Oh man, yes. Baba Yaga was so creepy. The part where like she's made all the stuff and trying to get him to eat. He says it's something about being made out of children. He turns his head, and you just get a glimpse. That was messed up. But yeah, that part was really cool. I would like to see more stuff like that with the weird creatures and old monster boogery things. That was like the best parts of the movie. Well, guys, I've been streaming for about 35 minutes. Before we go, let's check in on Legends of Lone Wolf. Let me pull that back up. I shouldn't have closed it out. See how many minutes we still got left there on that. We got 50 minutes, I think it said. I'll pull up here so you guys can see it. 49 minutes. So if y'all's wanting to get a copy, you got 49 minutes. Like I said, Indiegogo's still open. Indiegogo will be open until we print. Who knows? I might just after this completes, I might just offer it somewhere else. We'll just have to see. We'll see how that goes. But I appreciate all you guys who have supported this. I appreciate everybody who supported Lone Wolf issue 1. Back when all this comic book stuff started, it was really it seemed like really more of a team thing, and everybody was making friends, and we were trying to help each other out. And I don't agree with a lot of things, and I've voiced my stances publicly. And so a lot of those people, even if they agree with me, they've kind of scattered because they don't want their projects to fail. And I don't know. I don't really blame them in a way, but if I have to not be me and I have to sell out my beliefs, I would rather fail. But I have made so many good friends and met so many good people, and y'all just keep supporting me. And you don't know what that means. It's like I came up with an idea, and me and an artist made it, and it's out there. It exists. It's fantastic feeling, and y'all have been great. For every crappy person I've met at least 5 good ones, and you all, even though some of you are just words on a computer, you can always send me words on a computer if you need anything, and I'll get back to you. And just some great people, and I appreciate all yous out there who stand on what you believe, and you have morals, and you try to be a good person. The world is not always going to be on your side. It's not always popular to stand on your beliefs, but if you do it anyways, at least you're not selling out. And there's more to it than that, but I don't have words. I just wanted to let y'all know that you're the best. If you ever want to talk, reach out to me. If you want to come on, talk during the day, reach out to me. I ain't never doing much, but I'm going to go. I've had a good time chatting with y'all. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow around the same time. I hope y'all have a good day. God bless you. Bye.